This is University of Delaware football, sponsored by Bank of Delaware, Delaware's bank. Delmarva Super E Plus, the most valuable addition to your new home. And by Reichly, distributors of fine skiing equipment.
Hello, everyone. This is Len Holmquist in company with Howard Gesner at the University of Delaware Stadium in Newark. It is homecoming weekend for the Blue Hens. The opposition to be provided by the Minutemen of the University of Massachusetts. And Howard, a couple of things are in Delaware's favor today. When the sun shines, for the most part, the Hens do well, and they seem to always do well on homecoming day, and they always have done well against the University of Massachusetts.
They've played Massachusetts 7 times, beaten them all 7 times. Massachusetts, a Yankee Conference member, which Delaware has just entered, and no Yankee Conference team has beaten Delaware in 30 tries. Without belaboring the point, I think the key, as far as Delaware being successful today, is not to make any mistakes. They've had 30 turnovers in four games so far. I'm sorry, 20 turnovers, 13 fumbles, 7 intercepted passes, and conversationally, in the 2 games that they've lost, they've had 16 of those 20 turnovers. So when they don't make mistakes, they do well.
That's right. Against Westchester, Delaware turned the ball over 9 times. And you remember, Westchester shocked the Hens on the very opening Saturday of the season. Delaware went on the road and defeated William & Mary. They came back home and easily demolished the University of Pennsylvania's Quakers 40-7. But then last weekend in the muck and the mire here at Delaware Stadium, they turned the ball over 7 times, and they lost on that occasion to Lehigh's Engineers. We're ready to go down to the field now for the kickoff for today's homecoming contest, Delaware and Massachusetts. And here we go with the
Super E Plus, a new symbol for excellence in energy-efficient homes. For years, home buyers have needed a program that certifies energy-saving construction. So Delmarva Power, with the help of builders and architects, has developed Super E Plus. The result? Year-round living comfort, high resale value, and money-saving efficiency. To find out more, contact your Delmarva Power District office and discover the benefits of Super E Plus.
Tyrolia presents the new total diagonal system. Today's skiers demand the most advanced equipment. The new diagonal reflex toe and the Tyrolia diagonal heel work perfectly together as a total system. Step up to the performance of Tyrolia's total diagonals.
On the gridiron below, Captain Greg Robertson for the University of Delaware. Tri-captains for the University of Massachusetts. Number 85 is Richard Jenkins. Number 30 is Richard Jenkins. Number 85 is Gary Fraker. And number 4 was Brady Fuller. Our officials for Delaware and Massachusetts, the referee in the white hat is Ronald Hoover, John Collins, Joseph Deedy, George Abdal, John Daniels, Edward Stoll on the field, and the clock operator located in the press box is Raymond Lyons. Delaware, I do believe, Howard, won the toss but elected to make their decision to receive or kick off at the start of the second half. UMass is coming in with a record of 1 win, that over Harvard, and 3 defeats. Last weekend at home, UMass was defeated by Rhode Island by a final count of 13-3. Setting up to kick off for the University of Delaware, John Gasson, number 7. He's ready. And we're ready to go. Delaware and Massachusetts homecoming, 1983. Bobbled. 15, 20, and 25-yard line is the kickoff return. Taken in by a young man that we'll have to identify as they come across the field. Duckworth Grange. What a great name. Duckworth Grange. Reserve tailback. Here he comes off to the near sideline.
He's also the number 3 ball carrier for the University of Massachusetts on rushing. He's carried the ball 36 times this year for 108 yards.
The quarterback will be number 16, Jim Simeone, only a sophomore. The tailback is 20, Frank Fay. The fullback is Richard Jenkins, number 30. And the flanker, this is fullback Jim Rice, starting in place of Richard Jenkins. Rice is a converted linebacker, and he is a senior coming off the field now, 6'1", 208-pounder. Pickup of only 3 on the play, and it's a short 3 at that, out to the Massachusetts 27.5-yard line. Second down and 7. Bob Simeone out of our picture, split into the near sideline. This is Fay from the tailback spot. Frank Fay, sophomore, 5'8", 175-pounder from Tewksbury in Massachusetts. In fact, the overwhelming majority of the Minutemen never left their home state to play football. They are playing for the University of Massachusetts. Kevin Jackson checks into our picture. He is the flanker, the starting flanker. Tom Ciopa had been in on the previous play. Third down upcoming, and it'll be a long 5 for the Minutemen from just outside their own 30-yard line. Simeone delivers, but unable to bring it in is Fay, covered on the play by Delaware captain Greg Robertson, number 56. And Mass unable to move on its first possession. There's Mike Harris. He's going to drop back and do some blocking for Joe Campbell. Chris Wood standing back. He'll hit it from about his own 15-yard line. High, but not far. Campbell signaling fair catch, takes it in. And Delaware will have good field position at their own 38-yard line. And here comes Mr. 11, B.J. Webster, to run Delaware's offense. Now, there have been some changes up front. The flu bug has caught up with a couple of hens. Pat McKee is out, the starting center. Doug Martin, the starting left guard, is out. We'll pick up their changes for you in just a moment. First down, Delaware, 10 yards to go from their own 38-yard line. Cason does not get the block he needs on the corner. Good defensive pressure is put on by the Minuteman, and reacting very quickly, Grady Fuller with assistance. The loss for Delaware is 1, back to the 37-yard line. Second down and 10. Gary Johansson, normally a backup guard, is the starting center, number 77. This is Pontiacus setting up Pipe into the near sideline. Cason in motion. Higher, not much. Craig Lazinski, 38. And Higher, a little slow getting up. Took a good wallop from Lazinski, one of 2 linebackers employed in the 5-2 defense for Coach Bob Pickett at the University of Massachusetts. Third down, 9 at the 39-yard line for the Hens. That's Cason in motion. Now he sets up, just out of our picture. Webster going long. Cason comes back and gets the football. Cason steps in front of the defender, Jack Shea, number 23, and he's got the football. Long pass play into Mass territory at the 34-yard line.
And that's only Cason's 5th reception of the year, Len. Coming into today, he had 4 catches for 33 yards.
Now watch him step in front of Shea. And Shea, I think, is complaining that he may have been pushed off, but Cason makes the grab, falls to the ground. First and 10 at the 34-yard line of Mass for Delaware. Higher in motion. Webster, unable to find anyone open. He was pressured by defensive end David Cavanaugh, number 64. Good coverage in the secondary, that time by Shea, number 23. Grady Fuller is the other safety. The corners are Chris Wood, he's the punter, there he is, number 46. The loss for Delaware is back to the 39-yard line. Second down and 15, 5-2 defense. David Cavanaugh, 64, to the far side on defense. That's Merklinger in the slot. Higher. Great block. Higher to the 30, inside the 30. Danny Reeder through the clearing block for Higher. Finally, Shea with company making the stop.
Dan Reeder came over and got the safety, Chris Wood, or the cornerback, I'm sorry, Chris Wood.
We're going to see that block and we'll replay.
That's a great block. Let's take a look at it.
Get a great look at this block by 33, Danny Reeder, and Higher really utilizes it well. There's the crunching block. He takes out the corner, and Higher puts the football at the 29-yard line. Third down, short 5. Reeder. Close to, if not a first down.
Despite the fact that Reeder saw limited action last week, Len, he still comes into the game as the Hens' leading rusher with 50 carries for 256 yards and a touchdown.
And a couple of weeks ago in the Penn game, Reeder moved into the illustrious University of Delaware 1,000-yard club. He is the 28th member on that club and threatening to move up this week. First and 10 for Delaware at the UMass 23. Webster cannot find anyone open, and he's going to have to go down right at about the line of scrimmage. First hit on him was made by Peter Tracy, the middle guard, number 89. There's big number 90, Kevin Brown. He is big, 6'3", 215 from Groton, Connecticut.
Great job in the secondary that time by Massachusetts. Run Jack Shea and Chris Wood, safety and cornerback, had the Hen receivers well covered.
And Webster just had to tuck it. Does manage to get back to the line of scrimmage. Second down and 10 from the UMass 23. Higher in motion. Reeder. Reeder up here on the near sideline, but he's got yardage. And he was carrying linebacker Craig Lazinski with him. Danny Reeder from Christiana High School, first off, left the state to play football at Boston College, but found that the grass not always greener on the other side. Returned to Delaware, had a banner year a year ago. Having his problems with injuries so far here early in 1983. It's third down and 3. Reeder. First down or very close to it. Ken Johnson, 71. Helping on the hit, and they say first down for the Hens.
He needed just inside the 13, and the ball is resting just over the 12, so he made it with about a yard to spare.
In our picture a moment ago, big number 71 for Delaware is Paul Chakottis. He is filling in for Doug Martin at the starting left guard position. Martin and McKee out with the flu. First and 10 inside the 12. Webster slipping down. He had good defensive pressure put on him. Big number 90, Kevin Brown, was not going to let him get out of the backfield. Webster slips, slaps his hands.
Another important player in the offense line, number 66, Pat McKee, the starting center, is also down with the flu. And the backup left guard, number 77, Gary Johansson, is taking his place. And so far, he's doing a good job getting the ball to Webster.
15-yard line is where Webster slips down. 3-yard loss, second down and 13 from the 15. Merklinger in motion. Reeder, nothing. Good reaction that time. The hit made by Mike Favreau, number 45. Favreau, the linebacker on the left side. He's a junior, 6-footer, 240 pound. And he is returning to football after a 2-year absence. He is a junior. We don't know why he left the game for a couple of years, but they're glad to have him back. He's been a stalwart so far.
That's the third time in this series, Len, that Delaware has run that play where they fake to the man in motion and send Reeder off right tackle, and I guess Massachusetts was just ready for it that time.
Third down and 13 from the 15-yard line. Hammond! No! Hammond unable to get his feet in after taking the reception. Johnny Merklinger over to console him a little bit as Delaware, let's take another look at it.
Paul Hammond looking for his third touchdown of the season.
Look at his feet. One in, but, well, we couldn't tell. One was in, but the other was not. Gasson, there's Hammond on the sideline. Gasson will kick it from the 22, 32-yard field goal attempt. He's been successful from 32. Lane spots it. It looks good. It is good. There is timeout here at Delaware Stadium. First quarter action. And on the Bank of Delaware scoreboard, on homecoming day, 1983 for the Hens, the University of Delaware's Blue Hens have struck first with a 32-yard field goal. John Gasson doing the honors. Delaware leads Massachusetts 3-0. And we're going to hold it right here as there's our score. It's Delaware 3, Massachusetts nothing. Gasson getting set to kick it off from the 40-yard line. Gasson has been good on 2 field goal attempts on the campaign, now successful on his third. 3 out of 4 so far in the kicking department for Don Gasson. And he kicks it off again. This will be Richards. The 10, 20, 25-yard line is where they stack everything up. Let me correctly identify our return man. Richards is not the correct name. His first name is Richard. His last name is Jenkins. And he's going to stay in now and run out of the fullback spot. Very versatile young man. A year ago, he played not only fullback, but tailback, and when they needed him late in the season, he did a little linebacking. UMass trailing here to Delaware. 3-0, first and 10 from their 24-yard line, and Jenkins is going to get the call, but he's not going to get much yardage. Vaughn Dickinson slicing in from the defensive end position, cuts him down at the 27-yard line, pickup of 2.
Happy birthday wishes to Vaughn Dickinson. He turned 20 years old this last Friday.
Vaughn Dickinson, 20 years old, and a belated happy birthday to him. Second down and 8 for Simeone and company. Here's Jimmy Simeone. Pressure. They've got him hemmed in, and down he goes. Haudenschild with assistance, knocking him off his feet. Joe Quigg, linebacker and defensive tackle, collaborate to knock Simeone down. The ball spotted at the 28-yard line. Third down and 7. This has been UMass's problem, Howard. They have not been able to generate an offense in the first 4 ball games. They beat Harvard 21-7. Other than that, they've only scored 2 touchdowns. Simeone. He's got his receiver, Fraker. Fraker has got a first down, and he's to midfield. Gary Fraker, senior, 6'4", 230-pounder from Malden, Massachusetts. So far in the season, 8 receptions, 6 receptions, and now runs that reception total up to 7. He had 64 yards on the year, and he has added to that total right here. Fraker splitting the seam. Robertson's got to track him down, and then Jimmy Newfrock gives assist.
He did a pretty good job with the ball once he caught it, too, Len. Good running ability.
First and 10 for midfield. From midfield, Jenkins, nothing. The Hens are there quickly. Charles Bryce, flag is down. Charlie Bryce is starting in place of Eric Leaks at the defensive spot. There he is, 97, in the middle of our camera shot.
Penalties against Massachusetts, Len. I believe it's a personal foul.
Penalty is going to go against Massachusetts. Personal foul. Referee Ronald Hoover talks it over. And he's going to step it off 15 yards back to the 35-yard line.
That's also loss of down, Len.
Personal foul. Dead ball foul after the ball carrier was down. Second down and 25 for the Minutemen of UMass. They have never had success against Delaware. They played the Blue Hens 7 times, and 7 times they've gone down to defeat, but it's always been a rather hard-fought defensive struggle. Simeone, he has Jenkins out of the backfield, and Jenkins is run down by Sean Riley here at the 42-yard line.
Got about 6 yards back that time.
Riley, in a losing cause against Lehigh last week, cited for his defensive efforts and selected by the Hen coaching staff as the outstanding player in the 24-19 decision. A loss here at Delaware Stadium a weekend ago. Bob Simeone, the older brother of Jim Simeone, the quarterback, is split here to the near sideline. Pressure. Dickinson can't get him. Simeone, Riley knocks Simeone off his feet. Give the defensive secondary credit on that one. Simeone had his receivers covered, and he has to run it out of bounds and runs up the downs.
And there was no gain on the play either.
Joe Campbell comes on. He will set up inside his 20-yard line. Chris Wood will punt for UMass. Not very high, not very deep. Campbell up on it. He's going to fumble the football. UMass diving for it. And UMass, Grady Fuller, number 4, comes up with the turnover at the 28-yard line. Grady Fuller, he's a senior safety, third-team All-American as a sophomore. A little bit off in his play a year ago, but here he recovers the fumble by Campbell and a turnover by Delaware, something that has plagued the Hens all season long.
That's number 21 on the season, their first of this game, and Massachusetts has the ball in good field position.
Threatening here with Delaware leading 3-0. Here's Simeone. He's fumbling the football. Newbrock's diving for it. Hadenshield's diving for it. The Hens have it.
Joe Quigg made it happen.
Joe Quigg blitzing in for the linebacker spot. Makes Simeone cough up the football. And then the blue shirts were diving for it. I believe Haudenshield is going to get the credit for the fumble recovery, although Jimmy Newbrock was also in the area. And Delaware takes over at their own 40-yard line. First quarter action, Len Holmquist and Howard Gesner. Spectravision bringing you the action from Delaware Stadium, as we will all season long, except when we're on the road at Virginia and Rhode Island. Great catch by Pontiacus. Fuller knocks him off his feet, but not before Pontiacus crosses into UMass territory. Steve Pontiacus, the junior from Livingston, New Jersey, came into the contest, 11 receptions, 6 of them a week ago, the outstanding offensive player a week ago, and he has 4 scores on reception so far this season. 1st and 10 at the UMass 45. Webster, flag is down. Merklinger diving for the football.
Delaware recovered their own fumble, but let's see what the flag is about.
Webster really didn't have anybody hit him. He just had the football slip out of his hand. Johnny Merklinger diving and making the recovery.
The penalty is against Delaware.
UMass looking back toward the Delaware goal line. And this one is going to go against the Blue Hens.
Webster was carrying that ball pretty loose that time. Lenny just holding it out, and the impact when he hit the ground just knocked it loose.
That's the old loaf of bread play, and it's going to cost, well, not the football, because the Hens did recover it. Referee Ronald Hoover, you saw the call. Clipping against Delaware, marks the football all the way back. Tubby Raymond on the sideline, pointing out a few things to assistant coach Ted Kemsky.
If Webster knew what the price of a loaf of bread was today, he'd probably carry it a little bit carefully.
You got that right. 39-yard line. Delaware 1st and 26 from their own 39. Higher in motion. Reeder. They stack up things pretty well. Mike Favreau, number 45, on the top of the pile. The gain is out to the 43. Pick up a 4 for Dan Reeder. Still a little bit bothered by a leg problem. First diagnosed as a hamstring pull, but he did see service against Lehigh last week. Second down and 22. Cason in the slot. That's Hammond to the top of the screen. Merklinger in motion. Now the Hens have taken too much time. Delay of game will cost Delaware 5 yards. And Delaware even off on the scoreboard to a 3-0 start. Having their problems, Howard.
Pardon me?
Having their problems.
Once
First,
again,
the penalty.
These are just the little nagging things that I know the coaching staff feels that should be ironed out by this point in the season.
When you reach the 5th game of the year, things should be a little more cohesive. Higher in motion. 2nd down and 27. Reeder takes in the reception, and then he ever popped hard by Craig Lazinski.
We have another flag on the play. That was a nice catch by Reeder.
Another flag against Delaware. Here's Webster's throw. Let's see if Reeder has it before he goes out of bounds. He does have the football.
Even if he didn't, he was pushed out of bounds by the defensive player, so the catch would have been allowed.
The thing I was wondering about, Howard, was whether or not he was juggling the football. Did not have full possession, but the flag and another major step off is going to go against Delaware.
This will probably be a holding.
You are absolutely right. Holding, pushing the football back to the 27-yard line. 2nd down and 37 for Delaware. They have to get to the 35-yard line of University of Massachusetts for a 1st down. Crossing pattern, Cason unable to bring it in. He was covered nicely by Shea. Jack Shea had him wrapped up. Cason unable to bring in the reception. The idea, of course, there is to let Cason catch the football and then utilize his speed.
Run with it. Here we go. Right off his fingertips.
First, you got to have the football, and Shea was there.
Shea did a good job. If Shea wasn't there, the ball would have been caught.
Shea is from Springfield, Mass. 3rd down, 37. Gary Johansson brings the Hens up. He is playing instead of Pat McKee, who is suffering from a virus. Reeder, they're trying to strip the football away.
They're going for the ball. They sure are.
Going for the ball. Scott Rose, 54, going for the football and Reeder. And Michael Anderson will come on to kick for the Hens. Mike on the season is averaging 32.6. Kevin Jackson to the far side to return. He looks into a brilliant sun, and Anderson hammers it. Jackson, speedy flanker and return man, unable to get much on the return as the Hens cover quickly. Joe Quigg is down. 1st and 10 for UMass at the 22-yard line. We are deep into the 1st quarter here at Delaware Stadium. 1st quarter moving along rather quickly, Howard.
The University of Massachusetts has only run 7 offensive plays, and we're down to 1.5 minutes left in the quarter.
And that may be one of the reasons that they're 1 and 3 coming in. This is Fay, Frank Fay, the tailback, actually not running out of a tailback setup. Fay, a sophomore from Tewksbury, Mass. Used to be a defensive back. Has 142 yards rushing so far this season and 1 touchdown. UMass only has 5 touchdowns to their credit.
Frank Fay has one of those, by the way.
And their defense keeps them in the ball game, but their offense just hasn't been able to gel. 2 yards is the pickup. 2nd and 8 from the 24. Simeon under pressure. Quigg has got him. Joe Quigg. Be it left side or right side, Quigg always seems to end up putting great pressure on the quarterback. Even when the quarterback does get the pass off, Quigg seems to be right at his throat. Actually, it wasn't at his throat that time. He was down around his ankle, but Jim Simeone, number 16, looking for a little bit of assistance.
Jeff Haudenschild helped make that play possible because he pushed the right guard, Tom McEvely, right into Simeone, and Simeone tripped over his own right guard.
The loss is back to the 21. Third down and 12. 11. Simeone under pressure. Jackson, we have contact. No. Jackson looking for a flag. Mike Harris was there with him. They both went down.
Kevin Jackson is really upset.
He is upset. He's coming to the sideline, and he's still looking for a flag. But UMass will have to punt it away. Curtis Wood. Last time they punted. Here's Jackson. Going to cool himself off a little bit. He's a little hot. Wood punting. This one is dying. And it is going to hit, and now take a UMass roll. Campbell's going to get away from it. They're going to cover it. Peters Anderson downs the football. That is the end of the first quarter of play here at the University of Delaware Stadium on a beautiful homecoming weekend. The weather just perfect for football. The end of the first quarter. The score on the Bank of Delaware scoreboard: Delaware 3, the University of Massachusetts nothing, and we'll return.
You don't have to go out for Domino's Pizza. When you call us, within minutes, we're custom making your pizza with only pure dairy cheese and delicious toppings. On the road, we keep your pizza hot and to your door in less than 30 minutes. And we never charge for our delivery. But if you think that's good, just wait till you taste it.
Domino's Pizza delivered. Call the Domino's Pizza nearest to you. Delivery area and times are limited.
Come see the Italian Stallions at Buck Cycle Shop. The high-performance 900 SEI Benelli, perfectly balanced 6-cylinder machine. The Laverta 1000 RGS has changed the form of sporting bikes. The refined elegance of the Italian style, lightweight frame, and 1000 cc of power. We're authorized dealers of Triumph, Bultaco, Moto Guzzi, Laverta, and Montesa. Also, we're authorized dealers of the Weed Hopper, the ultralight airplane. See them all at Buck Cycle Shop, 2701 Northeast Boulevard in Wilmington. Call 764-2876.
Delaware will begin play here in the second quarter from their own 37-yard line. Another flag against Delaware. The Hens hit several times in the first quarter, and this one will go against Delaware. Illegal procedure is the call as Delaware huddles back up inside their 25-yard line. Referee Ronald Hoover. Illegal procedure. It'll be first down and 15 at the 32-yard line. Hammonds putting into the near side. That's higher, setting up as the wingback right. Reeder, but not much. The UMass defense, there's Danny Reeder. He's getting rid of Grady Fuller, but Reeder had been stopped long before Fuller came up. Back to the line of scrimmage is all Reeder can manage to go. They give him a yard pickup. Second down and 14. Webster looking at a six-man front. Cason with not much blocking. He cuts in behind the block of Reeder and gets back to almost the original line of scrimmage. Linebacker Craig Lazinski. Number 38, putting the hit on that young man, John Cason. Cason, in his career, coming into this homecoming contest with 625 yards rushing. So he has an outside shot at joining the 1,000-yard club. He has scored 10 touchdowns in his play here at Delaware after transferring from Villanova. Webster, 3rd and 10. Passes it, almost intercepted. Almost picked off by Shea. Jack Shea, 23, almost picking off the pass by Webster. Delaware.
Shea got there in a hurry, Len.
We'll have to punt it away. We're going to get another look at it here. Shea is there, And actually, maybe Cason ended up playing defender. Anyway, live action. Anderson's kick. It is fielded and dropped immediately in his tracks by Joe Quigg as the return man. That's Brady Fuller, number 4. Quigg is there as Fuller takes in the punt of Anderson at the 29-yard line. Anderson getting a little better foot into the ball this
Joe
Saturday.
Quigg is just having another outstanding game, Len. Every time you look around, he seems to be where it's happening.
That's the core of Delaware's defense, the linebackers, Sean Riley, Captain Greg Robertson, and 19, Joe Quigg. 1st and 10 for UMass. Absolutely nothing offensively here in the first half, and we're in the second quarter. Simeone, fumble, and Fraker is going to dive on it, and I think he's going to get the recovery. The initial signal is that UMass has recovered the football.
I didn't get the number, Len, but a Delaware player reached out to grab the ball, and he punched it backward, and
There's big Gary Fraker, 6'4", 230, and he dives back for the football and retains it for the Minutemen, but a loss back to the 25-yard line, 4-yard loss on the fumble. 2nd down and 14. Jackson splits out of our view into the near sideline. That's Fraker to the far sideline. Simeone, Jackson, he's got the reception, and then Mike Harris is there. The ball comes loose, but after the whistle had been blown, Jackson.
that was a great pattern by Jackson. He got into the open in a hurry, and Simeone found him.
Simeone looking for him all the way. Jackson setting up here to the near sideline, down a couple of steps and slants across. Simeone delivers the football. He'll bring up a 3rd down and 4 as they pick up 10 on the pass completion. Delaware's defense. There's another change for Delaware. 84 is Gary Cannon, playing instead of John Gannon, injured against Lehigh a week ago. Fraker into Delaware territory with the reception. He is big, and he is strong. Gets a pat on the helmet, too, from the sidelines. And UMass has a 1st down, and they have the football in Delaware territory at the 43-yard line.
Jim Simeone throwing that football like a baseball. I mean, he is really humming it.
He came on last year.
Last 2 completions were sidearm.
He came on last year as we look at the Delaware sideline and led UMass in their last 4 ball games to 3 wins and 1 loss. Here's a quarterback draw. Simeone with running room. Jimmy Simeone has UMass inside the Delaware 20. He's a sophomore, is Simeone. Good size. 6'2".
The whole middle opened up that time, and Simeone just picked his way through.
220 pounds and moves fairly well for a big man. He is from Farmington in Connecticut.
I know it well.
One of the few out-of-staters on this team, and his brother, Bob Simeone, is his favorite receiver. This is Jackson in motion now. Here's obvious motion. Mike Briggs, Jim Simeone in the huddle said, "We'll go on 3. Mike Briggs said, "It's 2, right?" And the step-off is going to come up against UMass. But a couple of passes, and then Simeone's fine run as Mass threatening here in the second quarter. The illegal procedure places the football down at the 29-yard line, 24-yard line of Delaware. 1st and 15. Jackson to the far side. Simeone to the near side. That's Bob Simeone. Jim Simeone looking for him, and he throws it. That was really a sidearm delivery, Howard.
Yeah, and I think he was just throwing it away that time also. Gary Cannon was the man putting the pressure on, and actually Simeone he had to throw it sidearm that time because he was halfway down to the ground before he let it go.
For all intents and purposes, I guess Paul Walsh, who is number 87, there he is, he was the quote-unquote intended receiver. Bob Simeone, the brother of quarterback Jim Simeone, splits to the far side. It's 2nd down and 15 from the Delaware 24. Here's the blitz. They pick up the linebackers. Unable to connect brother to brother. They would like to have that one back because they picked up the Delaware linebacker blitz, did the Minutemen offensive line, but the pass just too long for Bob Simeone from his brother, a younger brother, by the way, Jim Simeone. Jim's a sophomore. Bob is a junior.
He was as wide open as he's going to get all afternoon. Actually, Bob Simeone must have red-shirted a year, Len, because they're both listed as sophomores as far as eligibility.
Third down and 15 at the Delaware 24. UMass with Delaware leading 3-0. Pressure, and he delivers that sidearm toss again. And the official says...
Once again, it was Gary Cannon putting the pressure on.
Flag is down. It was a really
late flag. Now he's waving it off, I believe.
An inadvertent flag is what they're telling us now. An inadvertent flag. The officials discussing things. And UMass is going to send in number 3. Well, it's a Greek name, Howard, and I know you're better at Greek names than me. George Papasitis.
That sounds good to me.
Barefoot kicker out of the hold of Bob Simeone at the 31, a 41-yard field goal attempt.
He was making it from that distance easy, warming up.
It looks good. It is good. There is timeout here at the University of Delaware Stadium in Newark. It's homecoming, and we have ourselves a tie ball game, 10:53 until halftime. And on the Bank of Delaware scoreboard here at the University of Delaware Stadium, it is now the University of Massachusetts 3 as Papasitis hits from 41 yards out. The University of Delaware 3, and will return.
Take a look at today's TA high-tech radials from B.F. Goodrich. They're the tough American, high-performance radial tires born of high technology, and we've got them all. I'm Jim Baxter, your B.F. Goodrich distributor, and we're really proud of our star performers. The sophisticated Advantage TA, the sporty radial TA, the rugged radial all-terrain TA, or any of our complete B.F. Goodrich lineup. No matter what, how, or even where you drive, you'll find the best in products, prices, and services right here at Delaware Tire Center. We're located directly across from the University of Delaware Stadium on South College Avenue in Newark. And here's just some of the ways we save you money. You see, we don't charge you for the services you need when you buy new tires. Mounting, new valve stems, rotation services, and even computer spin and balancing are absolutely free with your tire purchase. So check the bottom line. First quality tires, low prices, free services. Your best buys are at Delaware Tire Center in Newark.
Here at the University of Delaware, Paul Walsh has just kicked the football out of the end zone following UMass's 41-yard field goal success from the foot of George Papasitis, the barefoot kicker. Delaware 3, UMass 3, and Delaware's offense sputtering and having their own problems. There's a good look at George on the sideline. He's happy.
We've got a flag on the kickoff, too, Len. It's at the Delaware 40-yard line.
And it's going to go against Delaware, but Papasitis, he is one happy fella. 41 yards. A la Tony Franklin. Without the shoe and the sock. Procedure call against Delaware is declined because UMass does not want to kick the football over again. They say, I don't know whether Walsh can kick it into the end zone again. Looked like he had plenty of leg. First and 10 for Delaware at their own 20-yard line. 3-3 contest here in the second quarter. Lots of time to go before halftime. Just under 11 minutes. Nothing. Reeder is stacked up. The UMass defensive front has to be recognized. 64, David Cavanaugh. He's one of the defensive ends. Number 90 is Kevin Brown, the other defensive end. The two tackles are 71, Ken Johnson, and 54, Scott Rose. There's Big Rose. He is 6 foot, 235 pounds. Number 90 is Kevin Brown. Number 89 is the middle guard, Peter Tracy. And so far, early going against Delaware, they have done a good job. Second down, and it's a long 9. Reeder's going to carry it again this time. Does manage to pick up a little bit of yardage before he is knocked off his feet by 45, Mike Favreau. Favreau makes the stop at the Delaware 26-yard line as Danny goes back in, feeling that leg.
Wonder if maybe that hamstring is still bothering him.
Now, it looked like it was bothering somewhat a week ago against Lehigh. 3rd down and 4 for Delaware. Merklinger. Midfield. Gets the block. Cason springs Merklinger. Delaware touchdown. Johnny Merklinger got the final block that he needed from John Cason, his running mate, and he sprints 74 yards for Delaware's touchdown.
Cason had to be so careful on that block because they were running head and head, and if he had slowed down just a little bit and that man got in front of him before he blocked it, that play would have come all the way back.
John Gasson, as the Hens celebrate on the sideline, out of the hold of Mike Lane. High snap. Forget it, fellas. Lane just tosses the ball up in the air. But Delaware, on the long jaunt by Johnny Merklinger. Merklinger, a junior from West Orange, New Jersey, as the Minutemen come to the sideline, now trailing here against the University of Delaware. But Merklinger, with that compact size, 5'6", 194 pounds, goes a long way to put Delaware in front. There's our Bank of Delaware score. Delaware 9, UMass 3. Will return.
In today's world, old values are still important. Values like hard work, dedication, and attention to detail. A belief that results are important, that people deserve service and reliability. B. Gary Scott Realtors believe in doing things right. Try us. B. Gary Scott, your key to a better tomorrow.
Where rush hour traffic is at its worst, bumper to bumper on the stairs, a bottleneck at the door, this beautiful Armstrong carpet can take it, because this is anything goes with Traffic Guard Construction. Armstrong structures soil and stain-resistant DuPont Antron Plus nylon in a special way to guard against crushing, matting, and unraveling. Anything goes from Armstrong, carpet that beats the traffic problem.
Available at the Tile and Carpet Outlet, 1126 Kirkwood Highway, Newark, Delaware.
First and 10. But Massachusetts now down to Delaware at 9-6, 34-yard, 74-yard. Let's give him real credit where he is deserving it. Duckworth Grange. Duckworth Grange showing some elusiveness and some speed, carries the football out over the 40-yard line. He is now replacing Frank Fay at tailback. Duckworth Grange is a sophomore, number 26, from Bloomfield in Connecticut.
He got a good block that time from the quarterback, Jim Simeone, also.
He had a great start as a freshman a year ago. He started his collegiate career by returning a blocked punt, 25 yards for a score against Rhode Island a year ago. First and 10 from the 41. Here's Duckworth Grange again. And he does not take very long, Howard, to get up ahead of steam.
He's in motion, right? He's going at full speed as soon as he gets the ball. And if there's just a little opening in that line, he's going to be into the secondary, and he's going to pick up 4 or 5 yards every time.
They're going to give him a breather now, and Fay will spot him at the tailback spot. But Grange, with good size, 5'10", 185 pounds, and some elusiveness, as he has shown. The pickup is 6 to the Delaware, to the Mass 47, second down and 4, but not much that time for Richard Jenkins. As the center of the Delaware defense, Charlie Bryce and Jeff Howdenshield, the 2 defensive tackles, collaborate for the stop, gain of 1, third down and 3. But how about that run for Johnny Merklinger?
He got outside, and once he got to the outside and got into the secondary and there was no one there, it was just a foot race between him and the last defender.
443 yards on the ground in his career at Delaware coming into this game, and he added substantially to it on that touchdown jaunt. Simeone. Fay Cannot hold on. He's wide open.
Had the first down.
Had the first down is right in Delaware territory. Now he's got to come over and tell somebody why he didn't catch the football. Jimmy Newfrock, he'll go back to block for Joe Campbell. Wood to punt it from just over his 35. Campbell looking into a bright sun. He's going to let it hit. He's going to get away from it. Grady Fuller is going to run down and cover it quickly for Mass, number 4. And the ball will be spotted inside the 8 at the 7-yard line. So Delaware will have it deep in their own territory. Campbell trotting off.
That was a great punt.
Great punt by Wood. He had been averaging 32.2 with a long of 41 coming into this contest.
He helped that average substantially with that kick. He had good hang time, and then when the ball hit, he got good roll also.
And he also achieved himself a new long. He had 41 as a best before, and that one easily better than 41 yards. Delaware deep in its own territory. Reeder. Stacked up quickly by Scott Rose, 54.
What Delaware has to do here right now, this deep in their own territory with about 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in the half, is make sure they hold on to the football. They can't afford to make any mistakes here.
And you heard the applause in the background as Johnny Merklinger returned to the Delaware offensive set, replacing Chris Heyer. 2nd down and 6 from the 12-yard line. Cason, too much penetration. Favreau, 45, unseating John Cason, and he'll lose 2 back to the 10-yard line.
So far, that fake to the man in motion isn't fooling the Massachusetts defense. They're sitting there and waiting for, you know, the handoff to the second man, and they're just sitting at the line of scrimmage and waiting for him.
Tim Sager, as Tubby Raymond stalks the sideline. Tim Sager replacing Steve Pontiakis, bringing in the play at the tight end position. Sager setting up tight right. Cason in motion. Merklinger, well, from a 74-yarder to a 1-yarder. It can change that quickly in college football. Lazinski makes the hit on Merklinger, who now goes off as Anderson comes on with the punting unit to kick it away, and he'll hit it from his end zone.
Barring unforeseen circumstances, Massachusetts should get the ball in pretty good field position here.
They should good. There's Grady Fuller, and he's inside Delaware territory, inside the 50-yard line. Anderson high. Fuller, 45 to the 42-yard line. Eric Hammock, 23. Joe Quigg, 19, down to stop Fuller. We had a little bit of extracurricular activity take place. There's Sean Riley. He's getting up. He lost his helmet in that extracurricular activity. But there was no...
He didn't lose it, Len. He took it off and threw it. I think he felt there should have been a flag there for a late hit.
Anyway, Mass will have good field position.
The man who was responsible for it just took his helmet off and waved it to the Delaware fans, and that's what the booing is you hear right underneath of us.
42-yard line of Delaware for Mass. Simeon. Sidearm, Freaker, 30, 25, 20. He's inside the Delaware 20-yard line. What a big target he is. All 6'4", 230 pounds. Simeon delivers it sidearm. And Mass is deep in Delaware territory. First down inside the 20. They mark it at the 17.5-yard line.
He's Massachusetts' answer to Pontiakos. Here, we'll take another look at it.
And he's a little bit bulkier than Pontiakis. Look at that sidearm delivery. He's wide open. Finding a spot behind Joe Quigg. And then it's a foot race. This is Duckworth Grange penetrating inside the 15-yard line. Grange with that quick burst of speed. I like his first 2 steps.
Throwing the ball sidearm like that, I'm surprised he doesn't have more of them knocked out of his hand. You're just so vulnerable to a rushing player who who has penetrated and is in close on you, whereas if you go overhand, you got a better chance of completing the pass.
You know, the interesting thing so far is the penetrator has been to his left side, and he throws it with his right arm. So going sidearm has been his weapon. Here's range, nothing. Stop made by Gary Cannon. Cannon is from Homedale, New Jersey, number 84, as Grange and the Minutemen go back to huddle up. But Cannon is replacing John Gannon, usually the starting defensive end on the right side. Gannon from Philly, but Cannon from Homedale, New Jersey. There he is. Good size, 6'5", 223-pounder. Played considerable against Lehigh a week ago. 3rd down and 5 upcoming at the Delaware 12-yard line. This time the blue shirts are there. There's a flag down. Newfrock, Quigg, and Vaughn Dickinson. They celebrate back where they trapped the quarterback Simeone, and we have holding, I believe, coming up against Mass as they discuss things with
If
Greg
that's
Robertson.
what it is, Delaware would probably be better off taking the penalty, because if they don't, it would bring up a 4th down, and the field goal attempt would come from about the 39-yard line, and that Greek fella's already made one from 41.
You don't want to take that name? You don't want to test yourself? George Papasidis. And they are going to take the penalty, just as you hinted they may, because they want to get him out of field goal range. It is marked back to the 29.
I don't know that he's out of range yet. I was watching him warm up, and the one that he made good was cleared the goalpost by plenty. And he's only another 10 yards further back now. It wouldn't surprise me if he could make another one from right where the ball is.
UMass will get the 3rd down play over again because Delaware took the penalty. And it'll be 3rd and 21 from the 29-yard line. Good protection. Jackson, touchdown! And they are celebrating on the Mass sideline, high-fiving it all over the place. That's Kevin Jackson, and Simeone led him perfectly, and he had the time to throw the football, Howard.
Yes, he did, and Jackson got open again. He got behind the safety, Jim Pawlowski.
Now this ball game is tied, and Papasadis is coming on to try to untie it. The barefoot kicker, the holder, is Bob Simeone. The correct pronunciation is Papasidis. Hits it, he drills it. As you can see, the officials tell us it was just perfect. And the University of Massachusetts, which very seldom has ever led the University of Delaware in football. They have never beaten them in 7 meetings. There's the Bank of Delaware scoreboard. Massachusetts 10, Delaware 9. We'll be back.
Hello and welcome to H.A. Winston's. At H.A. Winston's, you can enjoy a variety of warm and comfortable atmospheres, whether for dinner or for cocktails.
The menu features our world-famous onion soup, fresh salads,
Don't forget the free salad cart.
and Italian specialties, fresh seafood, and fine chicken delicacies.
Top off your meal with one of our homemade desserts.
The friendly and courteous service invites you to relax and enjoy yourself at H.A. Winston's.
100 Elkton Road in historic Granary Station, Newark, Delaware. Won't you join us?
Come see the Italian Stallions at Buck Cycle Shop. The high-performance 900 SEI Benelli, perfectly balanced 6-cylinder machine. The Laverta 1000 RGS has changed the form of sporting bikes. The refined elegance of the Italian style, lightweight frame, and 1000 cc of power. We're authorized dealers of Triumph, Bultaco, Moto Guzzi, Laverta, and Montesa. Also, we're authorized dealers of the Weed Hopper, the ultralight airplane. See them all at Buck Cycle Shop, 2701 Northeast Boulevard in Wilmington. Call 764-2876.
The University of Massachusetts huddling, ready to kick off as they lead Delaware's Blue Hens, and the crowd here on homecoming day, Howard, is perceptibly quiet.
Well, they've been quiet last week also when Delaware lost to Lehigh, but Delaware's they're just not generating any offense. They're not making the mistakes they made a week ago, although Delaware has been penalized 4 times for 60 yards, and that's not a good sign.
Teeing the football off, ready to kick off is Paul Walsh, number 87. He's a junior, 6'3", 225. Mass definitely has the size to play with the Hens. They've got good size defensively and offensively. Jackson, the touchdown receiver, 6'1", 195. Walsh kicks it. His last one went to the end zone. This one will not. Higher at the 3, 10, 15. Into the stack at the 20-yard line. And Delaware, trailing here at 10-9, will take over on offense on their own 21-yard line.
You know, a year ago, Massachusetts came about as close as they could come to beating Delaware. They were losing by 7 points, and they scored the touchdown late in the game and elected to go for the 2-point conversion, which failed, and as a result, they fell 14-13.
You know, Delaware was leading in that contest at 14-0, and then a young fellow by the name of Barrett McGrath came on, and he sparked, this is Kason, he sparked UMass to 2 touchdowns. He's a left-handed quarterback. He has been on the sidelines throughout the 1983 season, has not played it down for UMass. He is here in uniform. There's Tubby Raymond. He is not happy with what he has seen so far, as Delaware has a 2nd down and 7 from their own 24-yard line. Webster looking over a 5-man front. Kason in motion.
Lots of time.
Intercepted Favreau. Mike Favreau on a poorly thrown ball by B.J. Webster. He almost hand-delivered it to Favreau. Favreau makes the interception. UMass is in business at the Delaware 22-yard line, and all sorts of congratulations and happy feelings are taking place on the UMass sideline. And there's a dejected Blue Hen sideline. Webster talking things over, trying to tell Ted Kempsky on the sideline what happened. But the interception right into the arms of linebacker Mike Favreau. 1st and 10 for UMass. They lead 10-9. They're looking for more. Simeon and Jackson are to the far side, but the pitch is going to go to Duckworth. Grange at the 10. This Grange is elusive. He looks like a good one. He is a youngster, only a sophomore, 108 yards in rushing coming into the contest, and he also has a knack for catching the football, had 6 receptions, and here he gives UMass a 1st down inside the Delaware 10-yard line. Here's the run again.
Jim Pawlowski just get him by the ankle to save 6 points.
And Grange was trying to pull away at that. 1st and goal for UMass. Simeon nowhere. Quigg is there. Joe Quigg. The ball is at just inside the 20-yard line here at Delaware Stadium. The Downs have now run up to the 3rd, and it is goal to go for UMass, and they would like to talk things over. Have called for a timeout. That's the first timeout that Massachusetts has used here. Bob Pickett is the head coach, talking things over.
When Massachusetts took the ball on this series, Len, they had a 1st and goal at the 9-yard line, and Joe Quigg has come in to make 2 great defensive plays, and now we've got Massachusetts back just short of the 20-yard line, and it's still goal to go, but it's 3rd down.
Some of the Sunbaked fans at Delaware Stadium.
We have really been blessed with good weather for the home games so far this year. Even last week, it was a little bit foggy, and it had rained the day before, but I think all in all, it was not that bad a day. And today is just a gorgeous day for football.
Actually, considering what we could have received in the way of bad weather a week ago, you're right. We were very, very lucky. And, of course, the home opener in that blistering heat and humidity, and Delaware lost that one. But on the road, they were successful at William & Mary, as we look at the Delaware sideline and some of the cheerleaders for the Blue Hens and the UMass cheerleaders. Cartwheels all over the place. 1, 2, let's go for 3. Perfect. 3 out of 3 on the cartwheels. It is 3rd and goal from the 19-yard line for Massachusetts. Simeon grabbed by an ankle. Howdenshield got him by an ankle, and he is actually just setting up Papasaldis for the field goal.
I guess when they get this close, they say, let George do it.
14-yard line is where the ball will be snapped from. Don Day will do that snapping. The holder is Bob Simeone, brother of quarterback Jim Simeone. Papacitis from the 21, 31-yard attempt. He's been good from 41. He looks good. No good. It comes off to the near side. It looked good. It had plenty of distance.
It sure had the distance. It almost hit our end zone cameraman who's on the roof of the locker room behind the end zone bleachers.
But Delaware bending, but not yielding anything on this drive by UMass. And the Hens will take over with 55 seconds to play until halftime in what has been a very swift first half of college football here at the University of Delaware Stadium.
That should give Delaware a big lift, keeping Massachusetts off the scoreboard with 1st and goal from the 9.
But they just go straight into the center of the line with Dan Reeder. And year after year, going straight into the line against Massachusetts has not been beneficial.
And this year has been no different, at least not so far. Well, you got the 74-yard run by Merklinger, but that was on a sweep. That was outside.
And he got that great final block from John Cason, as you pointed out, had to be very, very careful that he got his body in front of the final defender for Massachusetts. Cason in motion. Merklinger hit from behind. Stop is made on him by David Cavanaugh, the defensive end, 64, but Merklinger spotting Delaware a first down, and now B.J. Webster wants to call for a timeout, as Delaware will have 14 seconds on the clock. UMass taking a breather as well. And Merklinger run gives Delaware a first down at the 33-yard line. Our halftime entertainment this weekend, as SpectraVision brings you University of Delaware football. The score, Mass 10, Delaware 9, with only 14 seconds to play here in the first half.
I think what Delaware's going to try to do here is maybe come up with one big play that might get them close enough to try a field goal.
But our halftime entertainment, going back to that, will be the alumni band. That is always a great feature for the alumni returning, and those who follow Delaware football year in and year out, Saturday in and Saturday out here at the stadium. The alumni band, and we're going to pick up some of their cavorting on the field at halftime as our halftime attraction.
They get a big kick out of coming back out here and getting on the field and entertaining once more, and the fans appreciate it.
1st and 10 for Delaware. The Hens at their 33-yard line. 14 seconds as the clock will tick now. Webster just throwing it out of bounds. They had Cason covered deep, and he was the intended receiver. There's John Cason trotting back to the huddle.
University of Massachusetts with only 3 men up on the line that time, but Webster still got a little bit of pressure from the left guard, number 71, Ken Johnson. The 6'3", 230-pound junior did a good job of chasing BJ over toward the sideline.
Newburyport, Massachusetts. Johnson was out last year with a knee injury, and they're happy to have him back this season. Triple receivers to the right. Here's where you go for a flag, and almost coming up with the interception for UMass was number 43, Vito Glenn Holden. And we have reached the end of the first half of football here at Delaware Stadium, as the Blue Hens and the Minutemen go off at halftime. Massachusetts right now leading by a single point, thanks to the foot of George Papacitis with a 41-yard field goal, and then the point after UMass's touchdown pass play from quarterback Jim Simeone to receiver Kevin Jackson. Delaware's touchdown, a long jaunt by Johnny Merklinger here in the second quarter. But at halftime, it's Mass 10, Delaware 9 on the Bank of Delaware scoreboard. Halftime is upcoming, and when we return, we'll have the University of Delaware's alumni band performing on the gridiron. We'll be back.
When I asked Karen to be my wife, I wanted a special engagement ring. I went to Continental Jewelers. They showed me a lot of diamonds and settings so I could see for myself why some diamonds are worth so much more than others. At Continental, they're professionals. They give an accurate gem lab analysis on any diamond so you're certain to get quality, and they spend the time to make sure you're satisfied. I was proud to give Karen a ring I knew was special from Continental Jewelers.
In today's world, old values are still important. Values like hard work, dedication, and attention to detail. A belief that results are important, that people deserve service and reliability. B. Gary Scott Realtors believe in doing things right. Try us. B. Gary Scott, your key to a better tomorrow.
Here at Delaware Stadium, it is homecoming 1983, and down on the field right now, getting ready to do their thing in halftime, the alumni band. These young performers have played here at Delaware Stadium in the past when they were undergraduates, and they're now going to perform for us here at halftime as Spectravision brings you halftime activities on homecoming day 1983, the alumni band.
Ladies and gentlemen, the University of Delaware Alumni Marching Band. Today's show is built around the music of the 1920s when Delaware's college population numbered about 600 and women's college was in its infancy. Now, on with the show, and George Gershwin, break up the band. For the second Garrick Gaiety. It's called Mountain Greenery and suggests a large fir tree. The band will try a little double choreography while they play Me and My Shadow.
Experience riding wide-open roads with true performance. Two-wheeled Cycle combines a complete line of quality bicycles, accessories for every cyclist's need, and service to optimize performance of your present bicycle. Come in and talk with experienced professionals. See what's new on two wheels and ride into the experience.
The finest in Oriental cuisine is what you can always expect at both Wing-Wah restaurant locations, 3901 Concord Pike and the Chestnut Hill Plaza, Newark. Succulent Cantonese dishes such as 7 Stars Around the Moon or Sweet and Sour Pork are a specialty at Wing-Wah, where they feature combination family dinners and exotic cocktails. The entire menu is available for takeout service, and they have complete facilities for parties, receptions, or group luncheons. Experience the Orient at the House of Wing-Wah Oriental Restaurants.
Again, everyone. Len Holmquist in company with Howard Gesner in Delaware Stadium. It's homecoming 1983, and Delaware is deploying to receive the second half kickoff. John Cason, number 2, Chris Heyer, 28, talking things over, Howard. They've been back there receiving kickoffs just about all season long. Chris, of course, with the misfortune last week to handle the opening kickoff, and he fumbled it away. Not a good hit.
First half stats, I think, are rather revealing. Total offense for Massachusetts, 175. Delaware, 188. Delaware has 146 yards rushing, and of course, 74 of that came on the touchdown run by Merklinger. B.J. Webster passing is only 2 for 8. And one interception. And the Hens they fumbled the ball twice and turned it over once on fumbles. They recovered one themselves. Massachusetts has fumbled the ball 4 times, but they've only lost 1 of them.
Getting set to kick off for Mass is Paul Walsh, number 87. In case you were wondering about that run by Merklinger for a touchdown, 74 yards, it was a long one, but it's not the longest in Delaware history. 30 years ago, a young fellow by the name, Jimmy Zeiser, went 98 yards against Muhlenberg. Cason at the 10, 20, 40. Cason. John Cason. They love it. He loses about half of his uniform. But John Cason returns the second half kickoff from his own 3. Here it is.
Paul Walsh, backup end, junior, finally gets him from behind.
But he went a long way. We're ready to go at the 13-yard line of the University of Massachusetts. That's where Cason was finally caught up to. Here is Heyer into the middle. He's penetrated the 10-yard line. Shea on the bottom, along with Favreau, 45 and 23 for Mass. A quick pickup of 4 from the 13 to the 9. Second down and 6.
I would imagine that return was probably the result of a very inspirational halftime speech from Tubby Raymond.
Well, the Hens needed something to wake them up. Maybe that did the job. Reeder hit initially by big number 89, Peter Tracy. He's the middle guard. They're not doing a good job of wiping out Tracy. Remember, Delaware is going with a couple of backups in the starting offensive front. Gary Johansson, normally a backup guard, is snapping at center for Pat McKee. And Doug Martin is out. Paul Chakottis has replaced him. McKee and Martin are out with the flu. 3rd down and 4 for Delaware inside the Mass 7-yard line. Reeder gets some of blocking that time, and he'll be close to a first down. I believe he's going to be short.
He's probably going to be about a half a yard short.
Reeder on the bottom of the pile. There's number 71, Paul Chakottis, trying to lead the interference for him.
Early in the game, but a big decision for Delaware right here. Do you go for 3 to take the lead, or you try for the first down and hope to get 7?
Well, I think Tubby will go for the first down, because even if they don't achieve it, Mass is going to be stuck deep in their own territory, and it is early here in the 3rd quarter. B.J. Webster coming up, looking over the defense. A 7-man front in front of him. I don't know. I don't know at all.
Massachusetts doesn't seem to think he made it.
Just trying to surge. There's Tubby Raymond. He's
Chris
concerned.
Woods running off the field already, along with Glenn Holden.
Now the spot of the football. Mass looks like they've held. They are going to bring the change in. There's Grady Fuller, number 4, kneeling. B.J. Webster walking back to
They're
where
going to be short, Len.
Yeah, B.J., he thinks they're short, too. They're obviously short. They stretch the chains. The Mass players tell us. The referee, Mr. Hoover, says, you missed it. Tubby says, oh, what can happen to us now? And after that great kickoff return, it goes to waste, at least at the outset here of the 3rd quarter, as Mass has held on 4th down and about a 1.5 feet, and the defense for Mass rising to the occasion. Number 16, Jim Simeone, touchdown passer in the first half to flanker Kevin Jackson, and that is what has given Mass the lead. Here struggling into the line of scrimmage and trying to pick his way is Jenkins.
I think
Jim Rice.
Massachusetts would be just content here to run off 3 plays and get off a good punt and get Delaware out of this dangerous territory.
Jim Rice comes off the field. He's replaced now by Jenkins at the fullback spot. Rice, the converted linebacker. Played linebacker for 2 years, but now here in his senior year, he's running the football. Here's Duckworth, Grange, nothing. They're ready. Vaughn Dickinson with assistance. And that time, Grange, who has shown flashes, is stopped at the 7-yard line. 3rd down and 8. Vaughn Dickinson, 87. Jeff Howdenshield, 99. The Minutemen come up. They send Jackson, the touchdown maker, flanked to the far side. Here's quick kick by Richard Jenkins. It is dying, and it is not going to take a UMass roll here at the 35-yard line. Jenkins getting off the quick kick, and Delaware will have excellent field position. Jim Rice, number 33, coming to the sideline. He was in to do the blocking for Jenkins, the other fullback, who ended up being the punter on the play.
Boy, so many things can go wrong with that play when you do it from your own end zone. I'm really surprised Massachusetts tried that.
Delaware has it 1st and 10, but trailing here in the 3rd quarter. 10-9 is our count. Double wing formation. Berklinger. Intercepted. Craig Lazinski's got the interception. And that is the 2nd pass that B.J. Webster has thrown. Almost, it looks like he's throwing it directly to the UMass defense. Favreau picked up one earlier.
2 white shirts right in front of the receiver.
Cason, the intended receiver, but they were fighting over the football, were the Minutemen. And Lazinski returns it out to the 34-yard line. So the Minutemen out of trouble. They were trapped deep in their own territory, and that quick kick now a turning point for them as they put the ball in play. 1st and 10 at the 34. Mike Harris not able to bring it in as Jackson plays defender after Harris had his hands on the football. Harris with 2 pass interceptions in the win at William and Mary, unable to make the interception, and that has been a problem for Delaware. A year ago, when Delaware did so well, finishing runner-up in one AA division play, they had lots of interceptions. But of course, gone from that team is Georgie Schmidt, now with the St. Louis Cardinals. Harris has got it. cannot juggle it, cannot bring it in after he juggles it, and Jackson makes sure.
Simeone had a lot of time to throw that ball, too, Len. That's scary.
Jackson in motion, 2nd and 10 from the 34. Duckworth Grange. And he's got major yardage as he crosses out over the 40.
Joe Quigg makes another tackle for Delaware.
Most of the time, Quigg has been making the tackles behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage, but that time he had to filter back and make the hit some 7 yards upfield. 3rd down and 3. Breaker is in, and Walsh comes off. That's at the tight end position. Breaker's got that great size, remember. 6'4", 230. He sets up tight to the far side. Not able to bring it in. Duckworth Grange kind of battling it all the way.
He had first down yardage, too, if he brought it in.
They've used him in spot passing situations. He had 6 receptions in the first 4 ball games. Here's a look at it from the end zone. Simeone just a little bit out of range for Duckworth Grange. Wood punts it. Campbell, fair catch, 30-yard line. He had his problems before and fumbled one away, but Delaware will take over here in what has developed as a time-wise, quick-paced football game. Not a whole lot going on. Joining us for this ball game, we talked with him last week because it meant so much a year ago when Bill Maley was playing for the University of Delaware. Of course, everybody remembers his part in the Delaware win at Lehigh a year ago. He was talking about the game last week as Delaware on first down for their own 29-yard line. They send Reeder into the stack. Bill Maley is on the sideline. Bill, if we could get your impression of what you have seen so far in the first half and here early in the 3rd quarter. Bill, if you can hear me down there, I hope that you can hear me on the sideline. Your impressions of the first half and what you've seen here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, Len, it seems to be going pretty much like it did so far this year for the Hens. The offense is having trouble moving the ball. When they do move it, they can't punch it in from inside the 20. The defense, which is a patchwork defense this week, the defense is holding them off all right. They've got a completely new secondary in there, a couple guys out on the line, so you can't really fault them. It's just the offense is having trouble moving the ball, and they're turning it over.
Johnny Merklinger on that 2nd down carry. Thanks, Bill. Merklinger out to the 35-yard line. 3rd down and 4. Upcoming for Delaware. The Hens missing an opportunity at the start of the 3rd quarter with the long kickoff return by Cason. Could not convert on 4th down and about a foot. Webster. Hammond. Hammond necktied in the deep secondary. Len Holden finally makes the stop on Hammond, but Webster successful on the pass attempt. Hammond coming into the contest had been the Hens' leading receiver.
Here's another look at the 18th reception of the year for Paul Hammond.
Hammond a year ago, the Hens' leading receiver, and he's so far in front again here in 1983. Delaware 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line of Massachusetts, but trailing 10-9. They just stack everything up. The ball comes loose. Are they going to rule that he was down?
I don't think so.
No. It is Massachusetts football as Merklinger is down. Giving up the football and giving up a piece of his body, too.
Glenn Holden, man who recovered the ball for the University of Massachusetts. Seemed to just squirt loose out of Merklinger's hands.
The turnover bugaboo continues to plague the University of Delaware. Merklinger is down. We have timeout on the field here at the University of Delaware in Newark as Massachusetts huddles up at their own 30-yard line. They'll have the football on offense at the 39-yard line with 1st and 10. University of Massachusetts leading Delaware at 10-9, and we'll be back.
The Niblick and its pub, serving you for over 14 years. One of the first with an abundant salad bar where you create your own delicacy. Serving lunch from 11 to 2 Monday through Friday, dinner 5 to 9 Sunday through Thursday, and 5 to 10 on Friday and Saturday. Enjoy the weekly specials, $6.95 to $10.95. So come to the Niblick and its pub. Enjoy fine food, beautiful decor, and excellent service. The steak-eating champ of the East ate a 54-ounce steak on May 9th, 1982. All challengers welcome to beat the record. Private banquets for up to 40 people. Special rates reserved now only at the Niblick and its pub.
Every year, students from around the world come to live with American families through a program called AFS. It's a year of growing and changing, good times, even some hard times. But one of the hardest times of all is having to say goodbye.
Surprise! Hey, you almost missed your own party. Mama, Oyata, I love you too, Dad.
For more information on AFS, call 800-526-7443.
Third quarter action here, as you can see at the top of the screen. Johnny Merklinger injured a moment ago, fumbling the football as well. Massachusetts will have it. They own the ball game right now by 1 point, 10-9. First and 10 at their own 39-yard line. That's Jackson in motion. Touchdown receiver for the Minutemen, Duckworth Grange, and nothing.
Flag on the play.
Flag thrown quickly as
That's
Charlie
in the area
Bryce,
where you might have holding.
Charlie Bryce and Vaughn Dickinson collaborating for the hit. There's Duckworth Grange.
That's what it is. Holding against Massachusetts.
And he's a little befuddled by what's going on. He says, fellas, if you're going to hold for me, at least let me have a little running room, because I'm not going nowhere when you're holding. The step off back to the 31-yard line. Referee Ron Hoover holding Massachusetts. First down and 18. So where Duckworth Grange went down, somebody was trying to hold for him. They weren't only trying to hold, they were holding. First and 18. Jackson splits into the near sideline. Bob Simeone, brother of quarterback Jim Simeone, to the top of the screen. Jackson. He's got the reception. He went up with Eric Hammock, and Jackson comes down with the football. We had to wait, but Kevin Jackson, who has already scored once, puts the ball deep in Delaware territory.
Well, let's look at it again. You can't blame Hammock for this. He did about everything humanly possible to stop Jackson from catching that ball. And just watch the intensity on Jackson's part.
Jackson, it's juggled, and he just holds on to the football.
Boy.
Hammock's got his hand in there and everything. First and 10 at the Delaware 31-yard line. Jackson now in motion. Jenkins, the fullback, just spinning, but not a whole lot, as Delaware's front line defense, which is going something like this. Vaughn Dickinson and Gary Cannon instead of John Gannon at the defensive end positions. Charles Bryce, 97. Jeff Howdenshield. There's Tubby Raymond urging the Blue Hens on. Howdenshield and Bryce, the defensive tackles. A four-man front for Delaware. Grange slipping. Saw that hole and trying very quickly to cut back. The hole was still there, but unfortunately Duckworth could not keep his feet, and he goes down the sideline for UMass. There's Duckworth.
Jackson back in the ball game now for Massachusetts.
He has been a fine receiver. Touchdown reception. Third down and 6 outside the Delaware 25.
Delaware's coming.
Just a little too low. That's probably where Simeone actually wanted to throw the football, because Jimmy Newfrock was ready to come up.
Joe Quigg was already in the backfield again.
I don't think Newfrock would have had a chance for an interception. Newfrock in the secondary. Here is Papacitis, George Papacitis. He's hit from 41. This will be a 43-yard attempt. Bob Simeone does the holding. Spot it. This one's not going to make it. Obviously way off to the right. And Papasitis beside himself a little bit, not happy at all with the way his bare foot made contact with the football in that attempt. He was successful earlier from 41 yards out, and it's his extra point that right now has Mass in front of Delaware here on Homecoming Day 83 at the stadium in Newark, 10-9. 6:45 remaining to be played. Third quarter action. Maniakis setting up tight into the near sideline. Higher. Not able to get away from the second man. Craig Lazinski, the linebacker. Higher got away from one, but 38. Craig Lazinski was there to bring him down, and not much pickup. Maybe two.
Dan Reeder made a good block on that play, but unfortunately he could only take one of the Massachusetts defenders, and the second one got in to make the play.
Massachusetts has always, except for maybe one exception, and that was a couple of years ago, played Delaware extremely tough. And they are doing it again here this weekend. Second down and 8 of the Delaware 27.5-yard line. Too high. That ball slipping off Webster's hand, and Hammond, we've seen him go up high before, but not that high.
Webster had to get rid of the ball in a hurry that time. There was pressure.
Pressure came, the ball slipped. Hammond couldn't go up high enough to bring it in. Third down and 8 for Delaware. But the offense for the Hens really has shown very little cohesiveness. Very little.
Inconsistency, I think, would be a better word, Len. At times they have moved the ball well, but for the most part, you're right.
Webster. Again, he's way high on his delivery. Now, in all fairness, he had to get the ball over Chris Wood, who was the defender for Massachusetts covering in the area.
Massachusetts defense looking pretty tough. Every bit as tough as Lehigh was a week ago.
Anderson will punt it away. Jackson. But UMass, I believe,
Delaware
has got the football, or does Delaware? We'll wait for the unstacking. Jackson did recover his own bobble as John Cason was down quick. Hammock was down quickly, 23, to put the pressure on him and try to come up with a football. Hammock had the only turnover as far as pass interceptions are concerned a week ago against Lehigh. Almost had one earlier, but it was a great reception by Kevin Jackson. Massachusetts 1st and 10 from their 31-yard line. They lead it at 10-9. Oh, what a hit. Sean Riley put the hit on Fay, and Fay's going to feel that one for about 2 weeks.
That's about as hard as you can get hit and still get up under your own power.
Riley really smacking tailback Frank Fay. He's a sophomore who may not live to be a junior if he gets hit too many more times like that.
Frank Fay came into the game the leading ground gainer for the University of Massachusetts with 142 yards on 37 carries.
And he has done little, as Delaware's defense against the run has been good. A loss of 2 on the play, back to the 30, 2nd and 12. Fay again. Uh-oh. Frank Fay definitely showing a great deal of resiliency, carrying the football, and he's close to the 40-yard line. He'll be shy of a first down by about 3, but
shoestring tackle that time by Delaware captain.
Interesting call, too. Here's Fay, just gets smacked. Maybe he has his senses loosened a little bit, and the quarterback says, Frank, you okay in the huddle? Frank says, I'm all right. Give me the ball. And this time he carries.
I'll bet he didn't even say, Frank, are you okay? He says, Frank, you're going again.
3rd down and a long 3 from the 39-yard line. Jackson is split to the far side. Out of bounds here at the 40-yard line is Paul Walsh. Reserve tight end. He's in there when Gary Breaker isn't, and it's It's a first down. Just a little under coverage pass. Simeone hits it.
Let's take a look at it again.
He is open. Delaware's linebackers not able to keep up with the rangy Walsh. He has good size, 6'3", 225. When Fraker's in there, he's even bigger, 6'4", 230. Pressure. Bryce has got him. Charlie Bryce, 97.
First man in. He had lots of help. Delaware was coming that time. I think they were ready for the pass, and they were blitzing.
Bryce just blowing by his would-be blocker. Quickly into the backfield, and Simeone is dropped for a 4-yard loss back to the 44. Second down and 14. Delaware's defense again performing well, but the offense has not put it together. Just a little bit behind the diving Bob Simeone. His brother Jim Simeone, 16, just threw the football. Bob's probably going to come back and say, listen, fella, you got to get it a little closer to me. I can do a lot of things when I catch the football. They have connected for at least 3 touchdowns, 1 a year ago, not against Delaware, but 2 on this season so far, as Simeone had 14 receptions coming into the contest. Eric Hammock playing in the Delaware secondary as Jimmy Newfrock has moved to a safety spot, and Ken Pulowski is out. Jim Pulowski is in the secondary. Third down, 14. And he goes down. Greg Robertson, he would have liked to put a better stick on him, but it still goes as a sack.
Got just enough on him to throw him off balance, and even though Simeone broke away, he was off balance and went down. Good play that time by Robertson.
The sideline goes the Delaware captain, and Wood will come on to punt the football. Here's Joe Campbell inside the 20. Uh-oh. This one Wood would like to have back. Uh-oh. Joe Campbell would like to be sure that he stays further away from it, and Delaware will have it at their own 20-yard line. Bill Bailey on the sideline here, and Bill, the last time we were talking to you, Delaware was deep in their own territory, and again, we throw the microphone down to you, and again, the Hens are deep in their own territory. They just haven't had the cohesiveness on offense that's needed. Bill, your comments.
Well, they turned the ball over again, and defense had to come up, shut them down again. They're giving up a little bit of yardage on short passes, but nothing deep anymore. I think the changes in the secondary so far turned out all right.
Danny Reeder on the carry off his own left side. Just about 4 yards. Reeder in the first half of play carried the ball close to a dozen times, I believe, Howard. And he earned all 48 yards that he had in the first half. His longest run was 15 yards. Delaware's score coming on a 74-yard jaunt by Johnny Merklinger. Merklinger shaken the last time Delaware had the football on offense, and he is not in there right now. 2nd and 6 on the 24. Almost intercepted. Stepping up and almost getting the interception. Number 46 is Chris Wood. Wood doing the punting, and Wood staying in. There's the intended receiver, Hammond, back to the huddle for the Hens. Chris Wood almost stepping in front of him. They have got Delaware scouted exceptionally well. They know that Hammond likes that 10 to 15-yard route into the sideline, Howard.
And they're ready for it every time. Interestingly, Webster has been looking for Pontiacos.
And Pontiacos, remember, is the touchdown receiver for the Hens. He has 4. Higher, and they are waiting for Higher. This is a well-designed defense. Hard-nosed defensive unit that Bob Pickett has brought in from Massachusetts. Higher doesn't achieve nearly enough for a first down, and Delaware's going to have to punt it away as we reach inside the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter. Anderson will punt it. Jackson, one of 2 return men, along with Grady Fuller. Here's a boomer. Just what the doctor ordered. Fuller is going to track it down, but it's going to go in. Delaware needed a little backspin, a little top spin on the football to have it kick at the 4 or 5 yard line, but a boomer by punter Mike Anderson. That will be definitely long of the year for him.
I don't think he expected the ball to roll that far. That ball really carried once it hit the ground.
The 20-yard line is where the University of Massachusetts will operate, leading here at 10-9. They lead on the strength of an extra point kick by George Papasitis. Duckworth Grange. And he's still not finished, crossing over the Delaware 35-yard line. And Delaware's defense has had a little bit of a problem containing Duckworth Grange. There's
Sean
the
Riley
sideline.
almost had him at the 35 that time.
The ball placed down at the 38-yard line. Number 26 giving Delaware's defense somewhat of a fit or two. He's been definitely the best running attack, the best running threat that Massachusetts has. 1st and 10 at their own 38. Jenkins, the fullback, and he spins for better than 5. It almost begins to look like, Howard, that UMass, with its great size, is somewhat slowly beginning to wear down Delaware up front.
They're beginning to take control of the game is what they're doing.
Here's the offensive front. Don Day is 74, right in the middle of our picture. He's 6'1", 245. On the other side at tackle is a sophomore, 59, Mike Briggs, 6'2", 245. 245 and 242 in the middle, and the center is Ken Runge. He goes 240, and the ball carrier this time is eaten up.
Jim Newfrock made the initial hit and slowed him down. Joe Quigg came in and finished him off.
It's one time that Grange may have been looking for someone in the offensive front to do a little holding to help him out a little better. They came quickly to the Hens.
The Massachusetts offensive line is just doing a great job, and like you pointed out, you go right across that 5, and there's not one of them under 240 pounds.
Now the lightweight is center Ken Runge, and he is right at 240 pounds. 3rd down and 4 at the 44-yard line. Simeone delivers, but unable to bring it in is Simeone. That's Jim Simeone, quarterback to Bob Simeone, older brother receiver. He's not happy that he couldn't bring it in, and Mass will give up the football.
He had the first down yardage that time if he would have caught it also.
Bob Simeone disgusted with himself. And Chris Wood will punt it away again. High. Fair catch signal for by Joe Campbell at the 28-yard line as we have reached the end of the 3rd quarter here at the University of Delaware Stadium. The end of the 3rd quarter on homecoming 1983. The University of Massachusetts, the Minutemen, as we will swing into action in the 4th quarter in just a moment, lead the University of Delaware. There's our Bank of Delaware scoreboard. Mass 10, Delaware 9. Will return.
In today's world, old values are still important. Values like hard work, dedication, and attention to detail. A belief that results are important, that people deserve service and reliability. B. Gary Scott Realtors believe in doing things right. Try us. B. Gary Scott, your key to a better tomorrow.
Nutrisystem Weight Loss Medical Centers can help you lose those unwanted, unhealthy pounds quickly and safely. The Nutrisystem weight loss method is scientifically designed to help take weight off sensibly. Nutrisystem works. Listen to what Betty Roberts has to say.
I've been on the Nutrisystem program for 5 months. I've lost a total of 92 pounds. It has worked for me. It will work for you.
If you're overweight, why not do yourself a favor and give us a call at 994-5708.
Setting up for 4th quarter action, and it looks like a drama is about to unfold here at Delaware Stadium. Steve Pontiakis trying to take in the reception by Webster, but Grady Fuller was all over him here at the 40-yard line. Delaware on first down, first play of the fourth quarter. They trail it here at 10-9. Had a great kick a moment ago by Mike Anderson, Howard.
Well, it went 74 yards, but it went into the end zone. They brought it out to the 20. Grady Fuller made another, just a great defensive play. He timed his arrival to coincide with that of the ball.
Second down and 10. From the 27 for Delaware. Cason into the stack. Does pick up 5. The Hens, except for that long touchdown jaunt by Johnny Merklinger, have been stymied by this Massachusetts defense. Always a good one. This year, maybe a little bit better than the past. Their offense has had problems scoring points. Only 5 touchdowns coming in. They have one today.
It almost looks as though they're suffering from the lethargy known as spring fever. They just don't seem to be.
Or maybe Lehigh aftershock. Third down 6. Ron James unable to bring it in. In fairness to James, Chris Wood was bearing down on him and looking right into him.
The other thing you have to remember now is the Delaware receivers looking back for the ball are looking into a very bright sun.
That time, here's the pass play again. Webster delivers it. It's a little bit underthrown. James has to stop and wait for it to come down. Here's Wood coming at him, and it just goes right through his hands. Anderson punts it away. They need another big one. He gets hit, but does not go down. Flag is going to be thrown as the ball bounces around midfield. Rather unusual call. Remember last week we had the Lehigh punter get belted. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago, but the punter got belted, didn't go down into his acting school classes.
And there was no call.
No flag, but here they're going to call running into the kicker.
Right.
That's going to be just as important for Delaware, because if it's 5 yards, it's a first down. Well, it's going to be short of a first down. We'll bring up Delaware about a yard short.
Maybe even less than a yard. It's going to be very close.
Just 5 yards. That's what Grady Fuller was signaling to the referee, Ron Hoover, and got the nod of the head to show, yeah, it's just 5.
Yeah, it's 4th and 1.
4th down 1, Delaware. We're early in the fourth quarter. They're going to punt it and look for Anderson to get another beauty away. Running into the kicker. You have running into the kicker or roughing the kicker. Roughing is 15 yards. Running is just 5. Fuller is single safety as they're going to put the pressure on Anderson. Low snap. It dies, and Fuller just brings it in with a fair catch at the 35-yard line. Snapping, by the way, for Delaware on the punts, of course, is backup quarterback John Fritz. Fuller comes off. He's done his job with the defense of Massachusetts, and the offense will take over, leading Delaware at 10-9 at their own 35. Jimmy Simeon, 16. He's probably close to his age, too. He's only a sophomore, probably going around 19 years of age. From Farmington, Connecticut. Touchdown pass to Kevin Jackson from Mansfield, Massachusetts. Is the go-ahead score with the extra point tacked on. Here is the receiver, and that's that great big Fraker.
Sean Riley made the stop.
Let me correct myself. Jenkins, I thought it was Fraker, but there's a definite difference in size. I should have known better. Fraker goes 6'4", and Jenkins goes 6'1".
Jimmy Newfrock almost had him, but he ran right by him.
And that puts Massachusetts up near midfield. Jim Simeon wants a little quiet in the huddle so he can tell the play. 49-yard line for Massachusetts, their own 49. With a first down, Jackson is split to the far side. Duckworth Gray, no, Jenkins caught behind the line. Charlie Bryce, 97, in very, very quickly. Not much blocking help for the ball carrier Jenkins. And Charlie Bryce shot through there quickly from Reading, Pennsylvania. Is Charlie. He's a sophomore, 5'11", hard-nosed, 233-pounder. Is Greg Robertson marks the defensive signals. Charlie has been in spot duty for the most part in the first 4 ball games and has performed well enough, evidently, today to get a start over Eric Leaks. A loss on the play of 2. Back to the 47, second down, 12. Just a little bit too long. Brother to brother does not connect again.
That's the third time he's overthrown his brother. And all three passes were in the same area of the field, down there along the sideline.
We're going to have an argument in the huddle. You're throwing it too long. Now you're running too far. You know.
I'd hate to be in that house at dinner time tomorrow night.
Bob Simeone coming to the sideline now. He'll get a break. Third down and 12 from the 47. Delaware's defense needing a key play here. All day. Batted back in his face. Just a great defensive play by Charlie Price. Price was blocked by two men and rose up over top of them and knocked the football back into Simeone's face. Good defense.
I don't think there's a worse feeling in the world for a quarterback than to have that ball, get the ball released and have it deflected right back at you.
Yeah, especially when you've had already 5 seconds back there to throw it. Delaware's coming, but they don't get there. Campbell, 20, not much. Is it Fuller? It is. Grady Fuller, number 4, down quickly in Delaware. As Joe Campbell is ready to try and trots off to the far side. We're going to take another look at the pass being blocked. Now here's Bryce.
Count the seconds he's got to release the ball.
Now there's two men on Bryce, and he just jumps, times it nicely, and knocks it right back into Simeone's face.
Move over David Thompson.
Just a great defensive play, and now here is a flag thrown as Delaware is up to the line of scrimmage. We'll wait for the discussion.
It's a procedure call against Delaware.
Forget it.
No, it isn't either. It's an inadvertent flag.
Well, I'll tell you, I'd rather see that than the official walk in and come up with something.
Yeah,
that's
they
twice
made the
today.
Mistake. That's
twice today that they've done it. First and 10 from the 22-yard line. Pontiakis is in motion. Now he sets up tight. Cason is the wingback. Cason, he needs help. Utilizing his speed. He just ran about 35 yards and picked up one as Jack Shea just bided his time and waited for Cason to swing that corner, and John's thinking, where were all the blue shirts out in front? They weren't there. John Cason, transfer from Villanova. He's had some great moments for the Hens.
3 Massachusetts defenders over there waiting to make the tackle.
You know, earlier today when Merklinger scored, Cason threw the key block. He's probably wondering why someone is not blocking for him. 1-yard pickup out to the 23, second down and 9. Just a little bit too high. I'll tell you, the defensive secondary for the University of Massachusetts is just doing a whale of a job. Webster completed only 2 passes in the first half. He's had 2 picked off, one by Favreau, one by Lazinski. So both linebackers can claim a game ball, I guess. Third down upcoming in 9. Pontiakis changing with Hammond. Pontiakis sets up this side, sends Hammond to the other side. Heyer is in the slot. Pressure, down he goes. Webster knocked off his feet. Favreau, interceptor in the first half. Great defensive pressure right here. And the Hens go off. John Cason and B.J. Webster probably a little bewildered. And Anderson will punt it. Massachusetts will have super field position. Dies, hits at the 40, takes a Delaware roll out here to the 48, 49-yard line as the Blue Hens down it. We have a timeout of the field here at the University of Delaware Stadium with 10 minutes and 44 seconds remaining to be played in the football contest. The University of Massachusetts, the Minutemen, trying to gain revenge for a 1-point defeat a year ago at home, lead Delaware by a point on the Bank of Delaware scoreboard at 10-9. We'll be back in a moment.
There's the Pritikin diet and the Scarsdale diet and the Citizen diet, because you can't be too rich or too thin.
Rich, thin. Golden wafers from Citizen, the watchword.
Available locally at the Big Elk Mall in Elkton, Maryland.
When my small business grew, I talked to the people at Entree Computer Center. At Entree, they took the time to find out what my business needs were. They introduced me to affordable, reliable computer systems, and they even offer classes, installation, and continued service after the sale. Because the Entree franchise of Wilmington is privately owned, I received professional, personalized service from people who understood my business needs.
WNS-TV, Wilmington, Newcastle.
First and 10, and Jim Rice is going to take the handoff from quarterback Jim Simeone. Bob Simeone, he does play for Massachusetts. He's the older brother of Jim Simeone.
Delaware, Vaughn Dickinson looking like he was trying to strip the ball away that time.
Well, the Hens are going to have to go for the football soon because the clock right now not a factor, but with Mass able to move the football on the ground, the clock will be chewed up. Pickup of 3 to the 44-yard line. 2nd down and 7. Simeone, here is a trick play, and it's going to work. 30, and inside the 30-yard line and running with a full head of steam with the football was George Barnwell. Barnwell, using his speed, gets around the corner, and now he's going to come off. He was sent in. No, he's going to stay on.
That was almost a Statue of Liberty play, Len.
Well, if he'd have put his arm in the air, had Simeone put his arm in the air, it would have been the Statue of Liberty. But it's a flanker reverse. And Barnwell's going to stay in the game and split to the near side. Jackson to the far side. 1st and 10 at the Delaware 28-yard line. Duckworth Grange looking for a hole and slithers for about 4. Grange does a nice job of picking up the football on the tossback while he's also searching in front of him for yardage.
He's very aware of where the openings are.
He's just a youngster, is this Grange, from Bloomfield, Connecticut. Picks up 4, 2nd down and 6 at the Delaware 23.5-yard line. The University of Delaware home again next week. Towson State, the opposition, will be here to bring it to you. Brought to you by Spectravision. Duckworth Grange gets away from one man, cannot get away from the second. Sean Riley got it. Charlie Bryce made a shot at him. Unable to bring him down, but Riley finished him off. Duckworth, little shoe problem there. He does not look very happy whenever he goes down without making yardage.
That's a sign of a good player. He's not content with just getting a yard or two. He wants a whole bunch every time he gets the ball and probably figures he should get it. They belong to him.
3rd down and 6 at the Delaware 23-yard line. Simeone, Bob Simeone, split to the far side. Let's see if his brother goes for him. He is. Touchdown. No. Great defensive play by Jimmy Pulaski. Number 16. Simeone is looking for a call, but he's not going to get it. He and Pulaski went in the air together.
That was a great play by Pulaski because Simeone had the ball.
Much needed play. Here's another look at it. Simeone's there. Pulaski, he may have hit him just a little bit prematurely, but there's no flag. Papasidis will try a 40-yard field goal. Bob Simeone to do the holding. He's hit from 41. This is pretty much straight on. It looks good. It is good. 40-yard field goal by George Papasitis, the barefoot kicker. And now he's saying, hey,
he's
somebody
looking for a roughing the kicker call
somebody
also.
ran into me.
Number 4, Mike Harris.
He's looking for a call, but he's not going to get it. But Massachusetts is going to get 3 points. And they have widened their advantage over Delaware. Delaware before only needed a field goal to go in front. Now the Hens need 6. Bank of Delaware scoreboard. Massachusetts 13, Delaware 9. We'll return in just 1 minute.
With Hearst ABC, the experience shows on Daytime. Daytime is for women who are special like you, women who care about themselves and the world around them. It's a provocative, fast-paced day, a stimulating blend of people and places, news and issues, celebrities and experts. Fred Rogers explains why you parents are special. Barbara Feldon explores the role of the 80s woman, and you can find the right prescription for your family's health. You can get in shape with Diana Nyad, get your car in shape with Lucille, and shape up your menu with Julia Child. On Daytime, you're face-to-face with celebrities like Helen Gurley Brown, Phil Donahue and Gloria Steinem, Lady Bird Johnson, and much more. It's a day filled with facts and fun for you. On Daytime from Hearst ABC, the experience shows.
Experience Daytime, weekday afternoons from 1 to 5 on WNS-TV.
On the Bank of Delaware scoreboard, the University of Massachusetts Minutemen bidding for an upset here at Delaware Stadium on home